Emu knew about Luffy from the start. Even random characters know the legend that Joy Boy would return after 800 years. We don't know why or how this legend exists, but many characters have mentioned it. Naturally, Emu knew about it too. I mean, she lived during that era, so it's safe to assume she was waiting for a pirate to appear in the current timeline. To us, it feels like a plot hole. Everyone wondered the same thing after Luffy awakened his devil fruit. Why didn't the world government kill Luffy from the beginning? The answer is, because Emu needs Luffy alive. And I'll explain why. Maybe she didn't know which pirate would be the sun god at first, although I actually think she did know. I'll explain that too later. But now that everyone knows Luffy is the sun god, including Emu, the question becomes, why hasn't she killed him yet? When Sabo witnessed Emu in the Gorosei's real forms, Emu erased Lelouch in seconds to try and kill him. She could do the same to Egghead or Elbaf, but she hasn't. Another strange thing is when Emu had 4 wanted posters, 2 of them were Blackbeard and Luffy, yet she chose to eliminate Vivi. That means she sees Teach and Luffy as threats, but decided to not act on them for now. Instead, she targeted Vivi, but Vivi doesn't seem like a bigger threat than 2 Yonkos, so there must be a reason for that choice. At first, I thought maybe Emu needs the awakened Joy Boy's body for the longevity of the national treasure of Marijois, or some other power source, but now I don't think that's the case. I believe we got the answer in chapter 1155, where several questions were raised about Marijois, and Xebec and Emu were just chilling in the room of flowers. It felt like another plot hole. Why didn't they fight? Why didn't Emu just kill him? The narrator said there was nothing Xebec could do at the time. But what about Emu? For example, she attacked Sabo as soon as she saw him. We know that Oda plans everything carefully. There have been no major plot holes in the manga for over 28 years. Yes, he's changed some designs after silhouettes were revealed, and in Alabasta he mentioned only 5 known flying devil fruits, even though we know there are more, but those were just minor changes for story development. But something like Emu not killing Xebec in that moment, or not killing Luffy before it's too late, there must be a reason for that. In this chapter, a new character, Davy Jones, was also mentioned, and it seems he was an important and influential figure centuries ago. Most likely an evil one. We're starting to see a clear pattern. Luffy and Blackbeard now, Roger and Rocks 40 years ago, and Joy Boy and Davy Jones 800 years ago. The term Nepo One Piece is becoming more popular, referring to how nearly every major character is the child of someone important or inherits someone's will. We've seen the effects of Joy Boy's will. Roger became the Pirate King even without the Nika fruit, and Luffy's whole journey has been influenced by this inherited will. So logically, Davy Jones's will would have a similar effect. We saw how powerful Rocks was. He confronted Emu, kidnapped 5 kings, killed an admiral, escaped from Marijois, and all without even having a bounty at the time. If Roger and Garp had to team up to defeat him, that means he was stronger than Roger back then. Today, Blackbeard is at least as strong as Luffy, maybe even stronger, so we can assume that Davy Jones was at least as strong as Joy Boy, and that those who inherited his will carry immense power and influence. So here's my theory. The reason Emu didn't kill Rocks D. Xebec is because she can't. I believe she cannot harm pirates who carry Davy Jones's will. Sounds strange? Let me explain. Davy Jones existed and was cursed by Emu. In return, Emu got a curse from Davy Jones, a curse that didn't seem too serious at the time. But that curse might be the reason Emu can't kill pirates who carry Davy Jones's will in their hearts. In Pirates of the Caribbean, Davy Jones's heart is locked in a chest. Whoever controls the chest controls Davy Jones. What if something similar is happening in One Piece? What if Davy Jones is the Florian Triangle that Emu controls? I made a video about this topic and you can check it out here. Or he could be the Sea Devil that Emu needs, or something that's keeping Emu immortal. There are many possibilities, but in the end, all the hints lead me to one idea. Emu can't kill someone who has Davy Jones's will in their heart. Unfortunately for her, every person with that will is a monster, a true threat to her throne. On the flip side, Rocks couldn't defeat Emu either, not because of a curse, but because he wasn't strong enough yet. He likely needed more power, maybe the Ope Ope no Mi or the national treasure of Marijois, to replace her. That's why they didn't clash in the Room of Flowers. That's why Rocks promised Emu he'd return. And to be honest, in that panel, Emu looked truly scared. Her pupils became wide and round, just like in the scene when she sensed Joy Boy's haki. She couldn't kill Xebec, and she can't kill Blackbeard either. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. We know he's one of Imu's top 4 targets, and she clearly knows that Hachinosu is Teach's island. She could have erased Hachinosu just like Leloucha, but she didn't, because Teach and Rocks are Davy Jonesian pirates. They're the only ones who directly threaten Imu and the throne. Maybe that's the will of Davy Jones. At Egghead, Saturn mentioned that Blackbeard's bloodline is special, and Katarina Devon replied that they're aware of it. When it was revealed that Rocks was Teach's father, everyone thought that Saturn was referring to Rocks by bloodline, but no. He also meant the will of Davy Jones. The Blackbeard pirates know that Imu cannot kill Blackbeard, and they confidently told Saturn that their goal is to conquer the world. But why does Imu believe that Luffy is the only one who can defeat Blackbeard? I will speculate a little and start with a question. Can you imagine anyone killing Luffy or Blackbeard before the final battle? Probably not. Luffy's the main character and Blackbeard is the main villain. The only one who might defeat Teach is Shanks, and even that wouldn't make much sense. Teach is one of the best written characters in One Piece. Oda clearly planned everything about him, every detail from the beginning. You don't create such a complex character, give him a powerful bloodline, make him kill his crewmate, eat one of the strongest devil fruits, invade Impel Down to form the most dangerous crew, eat the strongest paramecia as a second fruit, become a Yonko, get his own island, imprison Garp, and then just kill him out of nowhere. It doesn't matter if it's Shanks, Dragon, or Imu. A perfectly crafted character like Blackbeard isn't going down until he fights Luffy. That's why I believe Blackbeard is the final villain and Imu will be defeated before him. Also, both Luffy and Teach are extremely lucky. It feels like destiny is guiding them. They're the only ones who just can't die. Before the Ace vs Blackbeard fight, Teach told Ace he was planning to capture Luffy, and he probably could have. But then, out of nowhere, Ace showed up and became the perfect target for Teach to capture in order to join the Shichibukai. When Kaido thought Luffy had died during their fight, he said that could not be Joy Boy either. That moment felt like a direct hint. Luffy, as Joy Boy's reincarnation, has to do something because of his destiny, and he can't just die like that. If that's true, then Imu must know it too. She might be waiting for Luffy to defeat Teach, or at least to crush his ambition to become the king of the world. That way, she remains the sole ruler. As I mentioned in previous videos, I believe Xebec was very close to becoming the king of the world at God Valley. That's why even Roger and Garp had to team up to stop him. But back then, they likely didn't know about Imu. To them, Xebec was the biggest threat, and even if Rocks told them about Imu, they might not have believed him. Or even if they did, it wouldn't matter because Xebec wanted the same thing as Imu, to rule the world. But the situation is different now. This time we have the Revolutionary Army, and they do know about Imu. They can and will reveal her existence to the world, or at least to the pirates. I don't think Luffy and Teach will ever team up, but I do believe the Pirate and Revolutionary Army alliance will take down Imu together. They'll overthrow the world government, and Dragon will finally show us his powers. Then, the final battle will be Luffy versus Blackbeard. But I don't think they'll fight for the One Piece. I believe the One Piece will be found before Imu is defeated. And after Imu's death, Teach, being Teach, will try to become the new king of the world, a new version of Imu. That's when the final, decisive battle between Luffy and Blackbeard will happen. I know the second half of this video was more speculative, but I hope you enjoyed it. Either way, one thing is clear. Oda doesn't leave plot holes like this in One Piece. Imu has known about Luffy from the very beginning and didn't try to stop him, just like she didn't stop Rocks or Blackbeard. Instead, she's targeting Vivi. That's very strange and there must be a reason for it. So even if my theory isn't 100% accurate, I believe there are some seeds of truth in it. Thanks for watching. Bye.